Lavalier or lapel microphones can be a vital part of getting clean audio in environments that can't accommodate other types of larger microphones, whether it be for weddings, events, documentaries, or narrative filmmaking. But as with all filmmaking gear, it doesn't come cheap. Even this basic Rode Lav Go comes in at around $80, which is why offerings like this from Amazon Basics can be so appealing. At the time of writing, you can buy 2 of these for $30, and when I bought it, it was $20 for a single one. So if it can sound even half as good as the Rode, that would be a steal. But cheap is frequently cheap, so let's see how this microphone actually is. Throughout this review, I'll be comparing back to the Rode Lav Go microphone, and while it's not a fair comparison, it is an example of a lavalier microphone done right. Usually the first cost-cutting measure with a budget product is build quality. But here it's quite the opposite. The cable seems to be pretty durable, but is slightly grippy, making it difficult to route through clothing. Both the clip and the mic capsule itself are built like an absolute tank. All metal, and the clip has an incredibly rigid spring with grippy teeth that always held in place while I used it. Unfortunately, the connection between the mic and the closed clip is plastic, so if anything were to break, it would be that, and the teeth on the closed clip were sharp enough and the spring strong enough that I would be hesitant to want to put this on an expensive suit or dress. And while it never did damage anything I clipped it to, it wouldn't hurt to be careful. But enough about the build. This is a microphone, so how does it sound? Well, before I jump right into sound quality, let me clarify how this microphone connects to a device to be recorded. If you already know the difference between TS, TRS, and TRRS 3.5mm jacks, then skip to the timecode on screen here. But otherwise, here's a quick crash course. There are technically three main types of 3.5mm jacks that microphones can use. TS and TRS jacks are the kind typically used with dedicated microphones and have 2 or 3 segments. On their plug. TRRS, sometimes called combo jacks, on the other hand, have 4 segments, and are what you use when you plug headphones or headsets that have a microphone into your computer or laptop. These 2 types, however, are not compatible. TS and TRS microphones, those are the ones with 2 or 3 segments on the jack, only work with microphone imports or audio recorders. And TRRS, that is 4 segments, only work with combo ports found mostly on laptops and phones. Luckily, however, these ports can be converted between using adapters, and I will link some in the description. Mics intended to be used with phones use the TRRS connector and are incompatible if you wish to use them with an audio recorder down the line. And the same is true the other way. TS and TRS microphones will not work if you want to use them with a device that has a combo jack. The Amazon mic has a 4-pole TRRS jack intended to be used with phones or laptops. So with that out of the way, let's move on to microphone quality. I had intended to record comparisons with the Amazon mic plugged into my Pixel 3a XL, but when I did, this is what the recording sounded like. Eat each green pea. Aim straight at the game. Ed said get ready. I tried multiple apps and record settings, and no matter what I tried, this was the result. I have noticed that other microphones are a bit loud when used on my phone, but nothing has ever been unusable before. So before I continue with the audio quality, keep in mind that depending on your phone, this mic may just not work at all. I say depending on your phone because when I tried the combo port on my Mac Mini, it worked perfectly fine and I was able to get the comparison audio I will share with you now. Albeit still a little bit hotter than I would have liked, as there wasn't much room above my voice before peaking. This is the 3rd test I've done. Again, I'm speaking directly forward, both of the microphones are about 6 inches away from my mouth, and usually I record the Rode mic at a much lower input volume than I can even possibly do on the Amazon mic, to allow for people getting louder or random noises coming in. Okay, and now here is another test with the AC on, seeing how good these microphones can block out other noise, and just see how good it does at isolating my voice and how it does when there's a constant background noise that is relatively loud. I'm genuinely impressed with the audio quality of this budget mic. It comes within striking distance of my Rode Lav Go with a surprisingly balanced sound, only sounding slightly muffled and muddy at times from some extra bass response. And in terms of noise isolation, it worked about on par with the Rode. Also, a windscreen is included in the box, and it blocked out most plosive sounds, but not wind. But, and this is a thick but, if the mic clips, for about a second afterwards, the mic is completely unusable. I'll play a brief sound of me clapping right now to demonstrate, and I have turned down the volume, but headphone users still beware. So ideally your mic never clips, as that distorts audio anyways, but not only does this mic have a very high sensitivity working against it, meaning it will clip more often, but when it does, the audio is destroyed for a period afterwards, creating an absolute nightmare in post-production to edit around, and there's no other fix other than to make sure the mic never experiences something loud in the field, which is unreasonable to say the least. I really wanted to like this mic. It genuinely sounds good, and it's built like a tank. And it should, in theory, be super easy and cheap to use. Just plug it into your phone. But I just can't recommend a microphone with the glaring flaws that this mic has with its sensitivity. Maybe if you're an ASMR streamer, you could make it work. But if this mic were to clip during an important time, then that audio is gone for good, with no way to recover it. So no matter how good it is, if you can't reliably capture audio, then it's simply not worth the risk. So, while this microphone may be cheap, it's unfortunately also pretty cheap. Special thanks to my patrons, who were the ones who voted for me to review this microphone. If you want a chance on voting on future reviews, then all patrons donating $3 and up get to do so, with their name also appearing in the description. While all patrons, no matter their pledge, get behind the scenes photos and early access to new videos. And as I'm sure you've seen, $8 and up patrons get their name on screen near the end of each video. My Patreon will be the top link in the description, and I'll catch you all again next time.